Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew guy, and this is my second dry snuff review. Okay, nasal snuff, and as you just saw, it will be of the Toque product Peach. Toque is a British company that does have some products in the United States. Silver Dollar, if anybody's heard of or actually seen it, that is made by Toque, and Toque has more recently come out with a can that sort of looks like this, only the background color instead of yellow corresponds with whatever flavor it is, and it is Toque USA. All right, the Silver Dollar has about a dozen types, and the Toque USA somewhat less. There may be 8 to 10. Anyway, this is of the British product. So what you're looking at is a 10-gram can. Plain on the back. For reference, let me grab my last review here just to show you size difference. Okay. Now, the first review was of Gadwith Original or Apricot, depending which package you get it in. That was mentholated. This is not. So I have been having a little bit of issue as of late snuffing non-mentholated products. So if I quickly pause, that's because I am busy violently sneezing through my mouth so as to not to lose the product, just to let you know. Okay, so when these tins, number one, before you open one of these up, because they are packed to the very top, if you're ever not sure, all right, you want to make sure the lid is on tight because there's a screw-off lid. You want to slap it on a flat surface, like my desk here, all right, and then slide it back and forth, all right? If there is any extra room in the container, it will settle the product. It'll sort of sift it down. So when you take the top off, it won't be all over the place, because this stuff will be, some are worse than others. Dry toasts, which are very, very dry, you don't breathe on it wrong. This one, the moisture level is sort of a medium moisture level. So you're going to unscrew the lid. All right. And that is what you're looking at. It is a brownish orange tinge product. I'm trying to get the camera here, but it's very fine. It is a medium cut, or grind, actually, I should say. We're not dealing so much with cuts when you get to this level of pulverization. It's more of a what one would call a grind. I am going to use a snuff spoon that you just saw to knock out a very small amount of this. Now, I am taking a smaller amount than I would normally, or I used to. That is only because I am not been in practice as of late, as I quickly found out the other day when this stuff came in the mail. Okay, so let me try to split that up a little bit. This is all you're dealing with. All right, definitely all you're dealing with if you're just starting with this. Okay, you don't overdo it. Don't do like one of these other guys where they're treating it like it's some sort of narcotic, like, you know, and you're not doing lines of this and you're not using a straw, okay? I'm going to show you what you're doing. You're just going to inhale, okay? Now, I may hold a nose for this nostril over here. This nostril over here, I'll hold this one, but this one over here, I have a deviated septum. So I may hold this nostril, but you really don't even, as long as everything is working properly with your upper respiratory, you really don't need to do that. You're just basically getting your nostril over the product or very close to it and inhaling gently, in fact, okay? So let me see how I'm going to do this for camera. Okay. And that's it. Okay. There's going to be, if you're new, a slight sting. Your eyes will water a little bit. Hopefully you won't sneeze, although I do sort of feel one coming on. But I think I might be able to work through it. So, okay. The other thing, because most of my audience here is going to be versed in dip and or chew, usually both, I'd imagine. The other thing here is you're not dealing with tastes, flat out taste, all right? You're dealing with, I mean, taste and smell are very closely linked. You can test this theory for yourself. Actually, it's not even a theory. Eat something while pinching your nose. You're not going to taste it. You get my meaning? All right. So, this has the aroma of peaches, but you're not, it's not like a candy. It's not Timberwolf peach or Longhorn peach. You know, it's a very, very natural peach that is thinly covering a natural tobacco. There is no way for me to really explain what the smell of a natural tobacco actually being in your nose is. All right, it's very earthy. The peach is somewhat reminiscent. I'm trying to think of a way to explain this. If you were put in a confined space with a whole bunch of freshly picked peaches, that's what it's like. Okay? You get a couple crates of peaches that are right off the tree, and you go sit in a closet with them for 5 minutes. That is what this is. All right? So, it's non-mentholated, unlike the first product. It is going to be a little bit more difficult for beginners. It is not... The product of the last review in this series was a very soft, pillowy, almost tobacco. This is a little... It's a fine grind. It's a medium grind, medium to fine grind, but it's a little more coarse. It's a little more coarse feel when you inhale it. Don't inhale it too hard because you'll, number one, you'll definitely sneeze. If that does happen, sneeze out of your mouth or you'll just lose the product. All right. The other thing that can happen is not the greatest thing to have this hit the back of your throat. All right. Really, you're just trying to get it in the frontal part of your nostrils, okay? You're not trying to take it all the way back. You're not trying to have it hit the back of your throat. You're not trying to get a drip off it, okay? It'll do its job just getting it into the forward parts of your nostrils, okay? So this one for me, it's not unpleasant, but originally when I was doing snuffs a number of years back, I wasn't a fan of menthol in them, all right? So when I bought this first group, unfortunately for me, out of 14 products, only 2 of them were menthol. come to find out, my preferences have changed, and now I'm finding that I'm having an easier time in liking the menthol ones more, which is sort of unfortunate because the next 12 reviews are of non-mentholated products. So I'm expecting some sneezing along the way, but I'll know when I put the order in for the next group at the beginning of the month. I'll know to choose more wisely. Anyway, it's not a bad experience for me. This product itself is something I don't see myself using on a daily basis. I have been making a point of using the Snuff of the last review at least a couple times a day, just to get me sort of back into the habit. Just get me back into it to a point where I can do these reviews. Anyway, as I said, these first couple reviews are going to run a little longer. In the long run, the dry snuff reviews will actually be a little bit on the shorter side. Okay? I didn't want to do another startup video or a part 2 of the startup explaining all the details that you'll need to know if you've never done this before. And a lot of people haven't done this before. And, it's not a thing that in the United States, a lot of people they've heard about it in passing, or it's something, that was done a couple hundred years ago and that was it. Anyway, now after a while with this, and this is another thing, you do usually, unless it's an extremely fine grind, you usually do have to get rid of the product and blow your nose. There is always a deal made on snuff channels about snuff hankies. Personally, I do not use them because I have to blow my nose a lot. And I'm not carrying a piece of cloth around in my pocket or on my person. So I use tissues, disposable. All right? Anyway, this has been the way too long review of Toque Peach. It's okay, but I do not see a beginner caring for this. Okay? So you may want to take that in mind. It's a little bit coarse going in. Okay? Will cause sneezing for someone just starting out. The smell is fine, but as I said, we're not dealing with dip flavors here. We're not even dealing with a flavor. We're dealing with like a smell essence, okay? And it is a very natural essence. It's peach, but it's a very natural peach. Anyway, as I said, this has been the Toque Peach review. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew guy. Sorry this went on so long. I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves and God bless.